The feelings of not being known, not being liked, and not being trusted are part of the process of doing anything original in the society. There's really no way around that but through it. And the idea for me is to have fun with it, because if you're doing something original and you let other people derail you and distract you and get you confused, you're confused enough. Because the creative vision is, it can be confusing, and as I'm trying to figure out what am I trying to do as an entrepreneur, what am I trying to create, what am I trying to make, what am I trying to build, what is this going to look like when I don't know what it is in the process. So I call that the becoming period. So there's a long becoming period, and it's a series of connected events. That's a good way to look at it, I think. And how to deal with the feelings of not being popular as it's going on in your market separates the winners from the losers in this entrepreneur game. And it's also separates those who really are able to embrace these opportunities that are coming into the world now really quickly, with all of this creative energy just swirling around everywhere globally, and so many opportunities I can't even see straight. It's hard to know where to begin sometimes, as well as thinking, how do I enjoy my life? How do I create the life that I want as part of, not in lieu of, these entrepreneur experiments that could take me away from having a life, even. And then I wake up at the end and I'm like, what a waste of time that was. I got my San Simeon. Now I don't want to get too diverted with crazy examples because my brain does that. That's a man by the name of William Randolph Hearst, who reinvented journalism by ruining it, basically. So he created an empire, and the legacy is not good, and it's tarnished in a lot of ways. And Hearst suffered a lot, I think. If you look at the story, you can kind of see it. And Orson Welles, who was incredible creative force, power at the time. Orson Welles, the man's name was. He created a movie called Citizen Kane, and Citizen Kane taught me a lot about America. It's such a great movie, and the idea of Rosebud, the sled. It's the childhood. Orson Welles' childhood leading towards this big vision, Rosebud, Rosebud, and then at the end, never coming home. He never made it home. He got everything he wanted in the world. He had a castle, San Simeon, and he reinvented America in a lot of ways. We don't celebrate that because it's not worthy of celebration. Um, and the outcome matters, the impact matters at the end. Those feelings of not being popular are basically gifts from life. The creative energy of the world coming through us as the human beings in the world requires us to make decision. And I've talked about this before. This is the week one part on decision. Although now I'm rethinking the whole red pill pathway process. I'm starting to see it more as like a conic shell that starts at the center of the being, and think local. So I'm like, oh, no, act local, think global. So I'm rethinking. These are drafts. I'm throwing my drafts out in public for a reason. I'm giving the drafts to the social media technology companies, not the final product. The final product's mine. And I won't even give that to Substack, but I'll put pieces of it on Substack. So it depends on the media technology platform of what they get. If it's Facebook, if it's X, if it's YouTube, they get drafts and little pieces of things. And I just throw it out there. I don't even think hard about it. TikTok, any of that stuff. I just throw it out. You can have it. That's my content, not yours. A podcast guest thing. I decide you want to do a podcast. I'm not even going to do it. Or if I do it, you can have some of it, but you can't have my real stuff. It's mine. It's my creative product. That was the decision I had to make to not go insane, because I have to build it in public, because I can't figure it out without watching what I'm doing happening around me and seeing how I feel as I do it, even if nobody's watching or paying attention. I'm drafting and drafting and drafting and drafting, and I've been drafting for like 5 years, if not longer, um, without even realizing sometimes that's what's happening. Now I know. I've realized a couple of years ago, but now I really understand the drafting process, and it's called fail into success because other people see failure, and I didn't. I saw, oh, oh, I'm not gonna do that like that anymore. I'm gonna go over here now. Oh, I'm sorry your thing didn't work out, Larry. People would say to me, like, wait, what? No, it worked. Because now I'm doing the next thing. Yeah, but what were your KPIs and your metrics? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't talk to you. You don't understand it all. And then I would try to explain. And the response I got was, do it this way. And then that would pivot back on me of sell me something, to sell me something. I'm like, and then every once in a while I'd buy or I'd go seek out support. And I'd pay people, and then I'd get in with them, and I'd be like, "Realize, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not done. You're still working on it, and I'm paying you." And not everybody's like this. And I'm looking at my old pictures, and I found this old picture yesterday because we were doing like a massive clean out, and then our basement flooded the last couple of days. And I'm looking at these old. Thank God we put these in boxes. But if you see this man with the hat, the old man, we called him. Oh, my hand's shaking. All right. The old man taught me how to race sailboats. And did the old man know how to race sailboats? Yeah. Was he the best sailboat racer in the fleet? No. If he was, I wouldn't have gotten on his boat. Wouldn't have had a shot at it. The best sailboat racer in the fleet, and it was one of the best fleets in the Chicago area, wanted me on his third string. And I'm like, your third string? This is an amateur club, Chicago Yacht Club stuff. Corinthian Yacht Club, Montrose, Belmont Harbor, like all the, it's just a bunch of amateurs. And he was the best. Him and his wife, spouse, partner, depending what generation you are, trying not to trigger people. I don't care. I'm just trying to make it understandable. And he wanted me on his third string. I'm doing this for fun. But now I don't do anything just for fun. I do it because I'm like, I'm going to be the best sailboat racer. I'm going to be great at it. I'm going to be great at it. I'm not going to be great at it. It's not going to happen. But I'm going to try. I'm going to be relentless in pursuit of greatness, no matter what I do. But after a while, I just had to learn to have fun with this because I'm a terrible crew. I'm good at driving the boat into a storm at night. I can do that. And I've got pictures of me doing it. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I didn't think about this hard enough. I just talk as I go, or think of stuff as I go. I have to structure it a little bit. But here's the point. Again, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. That man, he was in a prisoner of war camp, real one. And he would tell us, and I'd be like, Art, you're lying. I always thought because he was a con artist. He was always messing with everybody, so it was hard to know. I'm like, Art, are you trying to sell me a flower pot? Or are you telling me the truth? It was true. Who makes that stuff up? I don't trust people because most people lie. They don't know what they're talking about. He was for real. He was goofing around, and I couldn't tell the difference sometimes. But he was shot down by the Russians. They're on our side, or they were. It's World War II. He was shot down by an ally. An ally. It's a temporary relationship of convenience by Russia. And he ended up in a prisoner of war camp. Where? North Korea. Into World War II. This is a real story. And he almost died of amoebic dysentery. And he got out. I mean, he wasn't there for very long. So it must not have been that bad. This man was invincible. I mean, he was invincible, and he was a great sailboat racing teacher. He wasn't he was not the best sailor in the fleet, but he was the best sailboat racing teaching boat in the fleet. And this fleet was, you know, it's a good fleet. It wasn't the top fleet, but it was a perfect fleet for me. And that's the point. That's the point. It was the perfect fleet for me. And then there was a moment where I got in a fight with him on a race, and he's doing his thing, and he's like, "You didn't, yeah." I know what it's like. He's in the back of the boat, and he's looking. He can't see because he's got something a disease called Zika, which is a sailing disease because the wind has been going by his eyes for 500 years. He was 80 years old when I met him. You know, I went to his funeral. He looked the same. It just came out. No, his grandson. He sent his grandson a text, and his grandson read the text to the whole. I mean, there was hundreds of people there. He was an incredible person, and I got to hang out with him for a few years. And I scrubbed the bottom of his boat without a regulator. Don't forget the keel. I mean, the bottom of the keel. There's drag on the bottom of the keel. Art, you want me to do what? What is the draft? So in a sailboat, a draft is how far down does the keel go? The keel's the part that stops the boat from tipping over. So he's like, there's algae on the bottom of the keel. Some people put anti-fouling paint on the bottom of their boat. He wouldn't do it. Too slow. Didn't matter. It's a club racing. He wouldn't do it wrong. It's like, no, you do it. Fine, I did it. I learned how to dive under the boat with a wetsuit on in the harbor filled with toxic sludge in Chicago. And you're not even supposed to swim in these harbors. And he's got his whole crew down there scrubbing the bottom of his boat. And I remember the rich guy boats, big 70 footers, the kind of boats they sail from like San Diego to Hawaii. 70-foot boats, big spinnakers up in the front. Some of those sailors were really good, and others were not that good. They just had a lot of money, and their crews of scuba teams. I'm like, Art, what the hell? He's like, nah. He didn't have any money. He lost his business. He did. He had a real estate development business. Think about this. In the 80s, and he was on the wrong side of one deal. He lost his entire business. I'm like, Art, what do you do? So I sell flower pots. Not kidding. He sold flower pots. He had a friend who had a flower pot manufacturing company. And at that time, I owned a distribution business. And he's like, I'll do Wisconsin for you. He wanted a territory. It's like northern Wisconsin. I'm selling children's clothing. I don't want to be doing this business. I'm still trying to get a real job at that point, I think. I don't remember now what was going on, but the business was making a lot of money, and I was doing pretty well, so I could go screw around and race sailboats and do all this stuff and have a real life and hang out with these people. That's the point. I don't want to get too deep in the story, so it's a point. I do, but I shouldn't. The know, like, and trust game, when played to win, thrive, or impact, means standing alone in the room while others around you have fun, make money, and celebrate success. That was the hardest part for me. Years watching Chris Colt and Richard Moore and Darren Gibb and all of these people take off and their businesses take off. Bobby Umar, all these people that I was peering with, watching their businesses take off. And mine's like going down. Like, what's going on? And I know I'm fine, but it's challenging. It's challenging. When you know it's right for you, you're a Willy Wonka and you got to keep going. It's scary because you don't want to be alone in a factory with a bunch of Oompa Loompas that don't know what they're doing. Now, I know cultural appropriation and the slavery, and you can get into all kinds of stuff, but I think of that movie, Willy Wonka. You ever seen it? Gene Wilder. And the Oompa Loompas, I think it is a bunch of entrepreneurs who don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm one of them, but I don't want to be alone as the Willy Wonka anymore. And that's the difference. And I figured that out years ago. And when I built the virtual company that ended up becoming Call Sales Partners, I thought, how do I enlist this global workforce of people who are tired of working for other people? And I did, and it worked. And I'm like, okay, fail forward, get out of that. I had to get out of it. Money is the hard part, but it's not the money. It's the fear over what's next. It's the feeling of, oh my God, this is going to be hard too. And the answer is yes, but it doesn't have to be hard. That's the secret. It's a secret. The secret to prosperity is recognizing it's a simple choice that remains simple, always. And that choice is made and made again and again and again in real time, in flowing motion, in creative energy. And this is what I know. And join in and submit to the creative project of humanity, or participate. Okay, I'm going to read what I wrote. Join in and submit. Participate while staying in clarity in the world. That was very hard for me. I had to get out of the world for a while, but in it and out of it and in it. I'm like, I wish I could just go be a monk or roam the earth, or I already did all that stuff. Like, I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, I can't believe I did all the stuff I did. It's just unbelievable. Roam the earth. I look at these pictures and I'm like, wow, I did all that stuff. I forgot. Like, I don't even know where I was. Like, I think it was in the Balearic, the Canary Islands. Like, I didn't have the money to do all this stuff. I just did it anyways. Then I had the money. Well, I did have the money. I got money and then I lost money. Hotel Santa Catalina Casino. I don't even remember where we were. I've been married 3 times. I've had 3 honeymoons. This is Paris. My roommate in college and his friends. I went to their wedding in Paris. I'm looking at these pictures. I'm like, wow, this is working in Chicago, marketing communications. I got in early in a creative company, and then it got rolled up by a bot attack, and the owner sold to a private equity group and screwed it up. Can't tell you her name. Where was that? I don't even remember. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes, and I forgot about all this stuff. Mexico City. I'm screwing around in Mexico City. My wife now, spouse, partner. We're together forever. It's real. 19 years, almost 20. Renewed the vows at 10 years. We did a cool wedding. We got married in the back of a restaurant in our neighborhood in Chicago. We were the first ones. We approached the owner. He'd never done weddings before. Live your life locally. So that was the big idea from yesterday, last week. It's like a concentric shell that goes up and out. I don't know the sacred geometry yet, but there's a geometry of this. It starts where? Local, right here. Where does it go? Global, or it backs up. They go together. I don't know. We'll see. Join in and submit to creative energy in life. Submit to life. Participate while staying in clarity. That's the hard part. Or do your best, Wicked Witch of the West in the western sky, or in plain sight in the room. I proved I can do it to myself. I proved my Wicked Witch of the West I could do it. I could say stuff no one could understand because I couldn't understand how to explain what I was seeing and what I knew to be true. Looking at these pictures, I'm like, wow, just do it means something different to me now than just go win the prize. It's a different prize. It's the same prize. It's a matter of where you are and the principle of just do it. Understanding what does the principle of just do it mean to you? What it means to me changes. The key is understanding the principle. That's why people get stuff wrong. When Naval did the tweet stream years ago for Silicon Valley, he's trying to wake Silicon Valley up. Like, create. Um, and he's looking around, and it's like, they're like, what's next? What's next? And they're all like, what's next? What are we going to do next? What are we going to bigger, bigger, better, bigger? Yeah. Pause. Take a breath. What do you want? Who's it for? What about your life? Are you having one? Or are you just doing that? Sorry, the dogs. I got to get out of here. I need an office. I have a great co-working space. I need like a real building. I'm going to buy a building when I have money again. So I have a studio. I don't even need that. Who knows how it's going to happen? That's the point. It doesn't matter. It's just annoying to have to do this at my house. Still, I love we got a great house. I'm very lucky, and we have a great neighborhood. I'm very lucky. It's part of the story. Whatever your story is, it's your story. It's real. And don't let anybody tell you differently. And that's the Wicked Witch of the West in the Western Sky. It's you go back to the society and you give them one of these, and you go up in the Western Sky and you just say, look, Harvard, the magic school, wherever those people were in that movie, Wicked. I'm talking about the movie Wicked now. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to play this popularity contest anymore. You put a stupid hat on me or a scarlet letter or whatever you do to me, you can't hurt me. I'm going out here. And then there's a moment where I had to kill the Wicked Witch of the West. I dropped the house on my own head. I got the little shoes to prove it, sticking out. So I'll share the know, like, and trust yourself. That's the secret. Know, like, and trust yourself when it appears within your mark. Okay, now I can't even figure out what I'm saying here. I'll share how to know, like, and trust yourself when it appears within your market, that the more you dance to your own beat, the less people know, like, and trust you. Yes, exactly. That is true. Why? Because you're forcing them to confront their own truth. And if they're not in it, they're going to be triggered. If they are, they're fine. They won't be. They could become allies, or they're just not interested because what you're talking about isn't relevant to them. Or they're triggered and they oppose you, or they're triggered and they join you at some point because they start to realize they want to be in with what you're talking about, and they were waiting for you to get ready for them. That's part of the Wicked Witch of the West problem. It's I have an answer, and I'm going to make sure you know. No, I don't want your answer. I want your heart. I want your platform. I want to be a part of it, but I don't want you to be my leader. Exactly. That's right. I remember hearing, if you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. Sheldon Kopp. I read that book in the 90s. If you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. Great psychoanalyst of some sort. If you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him is another version of that. What does that mean? Christians can do this too. Buddhism is just another form and a tradition. We'll talk about cultural stuff. Oh, I'm going to get out of control here. Meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha means no boss. I'm my boss. You're part of it. You know more than me in that area. Let's come together. I call that shared desire. Your vision, my vision, come together, shared desire. Not, I follow you. No, I don't follow anybody. Any human being who follows anyone anywhere is going to end up nowhere. Can we go together? Yeah. I got a lot of going together. Don't follow me through. You're going to end up in some crazy places. I'm reading the Herald Tribune somewhere and who knows where. I just wandered around and I found myself in all kinds of interesting places. I'm in Paris. I didn't grow up with this kind of family where you just, I went to Paris. No, I'm like, I'm going to Paris. My dad's like, well, how much? It's just the same as GW. I've been through junior college, University of Illinois at Chicago. I went to 4 schools. He's like, I said, it's less. He said, why are you asking me? We're in. I went. I'm in an apartment with this, I think she was 40. Her name was Jillian. I think it was Jillian. and she was a dancer. She'd been a dancer at the Moulin Rouge. She danced nude on stage for tourists at the Moulin Rouge in Paris. She was from London, and her life had been a train wreck after that. Train wreck. And she was a good friend, like, so she was part of the social circle as part of it. So I was hanging out with her in her apartment. She had a view of the Sacre Coeur in Paris on Montmartre. You ever been there? It's on a hill. It's unbelievable. Heroin addicts all over the place in the neighborhood. Back then, not anymore. So there were heroin addicts everywhere back then. And she had an incredible place. It was like really small and had a big window. And I'm sitting there looking at that. And I'm like, how did I get in this room? I went. I got a lot of stories like that. I've been doing this since I was 7, since I ran away from home. And my mom said, Larry, where are you going? And I said, I don't know, but I don't want to be here. You may be like that. That would make you an entrepreneur. Um, it's easy to do this when you have money, fame, and success. If you have money, fame, and success, you have social proof and authority proof. So the mind in the mass market sees you as an authority, even if you don't know what you're talking about. It's not the same thing. That's actually a trap for you. Now you're a popular celebrity and they want answers from you. That's another side. That's a trap too. Um, when you feel the pinch, aren't well known, and know you will succeed, but aren't sure how the fun starts. Oh, wait, that's not right. When you feel the pinch, aren't well known, and know you will succeed, but aren't sure how the fun starts. You don't have to know how. Nobody told me. It would have been a lot easier if someone had said, just keep going, just keep doing all these crazy things. I got so many crazy pictures. Look over here. Like, how the hell did I get? Look at this. Oh, that's my ex-wife. Where were we? Poland. This was Zakopane. I spent 3-4 months in Krakow. I took Polish lessons. I live in Chicago. It's not hard to find a Polish teacher in Chicago. And I was like, could you work on the weekends? And he laughed. Weekend? What's a weekend? I'm Polish. We don't have weekends. We work, Larry. You're American. You guys have weekends. I'm not American. I'm a Norte Americano to this family. Where is it? Norte Americano. Let's see if I can find this picture fast enough. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this family. Part of my family for a while. I'm a Norte Americano to them. And to some of their relatives, a gringo. Hablas español? Not very well. This is how it works. I lost my train of thought. Not a surprise. And know you'll succeed. Oh, fun starts. I look at these pictures and I'm like, God, I was having fun. Why was I? What was the problem? I always thought there was something wrong. What's wrong with me? Why can't I get a real job? Why do I have to work in this crazy business? Why do I have to do this? There was this buzzing complaint the whole time. Buzzing complaint. I'm having a great time. I'm sitting in a cafe in Madrid reading Fortunata y Jacinta. Like a crazy, like, that's me. That's who I am. I'm going to do stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. But I had this inner feeling of unease, angst. Something's missing. Something's wrong. There was nothing wrong. I was just being myself. Learn how to be as you become. Learn how to be as you become. That's what we're missing. And the Norte Americanos don't get this. If you live in other countries, don't listen to us. We don't get this part. You already know this. Some of you don't, though. You're blinded by the money and the fame and the Hollywood movies. Just know what that is. It's a creative cultural product. Some of it isn't. Some of it's just business product. But we're not good at that part. Learn how to be. You know who is? France. Where are we going for? And Spain. Where we go? What are we doing now? We're gonna go. We're going for a walk. How long? I don't know. An hour. Da una vuelta. What are we gonna do next? Una copa. Where? 8 places. Was anybody drunk at the end? No. And then all of a sudden, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Time to take a quick nap, and everybody goes back to work at 10. What a great lifestyle. The whole country has to agree to this, or it doesn't work. All right. Um, that's why we can't do it in the United States. We can't agree on anything. Learn how to be as you become. Learn how to be as you become. Learn how to be. Be. That's the point. Be. Slow down. Be. As you become, you'll go faster. If you slow down to become whatever you're trying to become, who you are meant to be in this world. If you're meant to be it, why are you worried about it not happening? Tell me about it. Gain access to prosperity, not money, prosperity, wealth. No, you don't want wealth. You don't want money. You want prosperity. It comes with flowing money as needed in volume, if that's what's needed. You don't believe me on this. Don't believe anybody. I don't have a perspective on this. I have an experience of it, and that's it. Gain access to prosperity, however. Wealth, heavy burden. Think about the folk myths, King Midas and his gold. Is that what you want? And know how to open resources inside yourself that you did not know existed. You need a playbook? You need a manual? You already got one.